about our £30,000 salary.
To put down, I mean, it's whatever you want to borrow divided by 3.5. So say you go for 95% of 200, so that's 190 divided by 3.5. So your earnings have to be, say, 55,000.
Okay. So you think that's all right? Just seems...
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't got your conscience. Well, I mean, I have got a conscience, but you're the one who has to make the decision whether you want to go for it. But at the end of the day, it works. It's fine.
But who is the lender offering this ever so attractive mortgage to people with just a 5% deposit?
You might think, oh my God, they must be a real fly-by-night company or something, but they're not. They're the massive lender. It's actually Bank of Scotland, part of the Halifax Group.
Really?
Major lender.
Who gives you extra?
The Halifax Bank of Scotland Group is Britain's biggest mortgage lender. They're not the only lender in the self-certified business, but they are the most aggressive. During this investigation, brokers have advised us to lie on applications for self-certified mortgages from the Bank of Scotland, the Mortgage Business, and Birmingham Midshires. They're all part of the Halifax Bank of Scotland Group. In their latest annual report, Halifax Bank of Scotland's Chief Executive, James Crosby, insists that HBOS is a responsible lender. Asked if he was
part of the fraternity that are lending based on 4 times salary,
James Crosby replied,
"Not as a general rule. Almost all lending in the UK by mortgage lenders, not just us, is on the same income multiples as were applied in the late 1980s.
So, does James Crosby really not know that brokers are getting borrowers far more than the traditional 3.5 times multiple by exaggerating their incomes? And what if Britain's biggest mortgage lender was selling its own mortgages this way? That'd surely be a sign the housing market is rotten to the core. Ads for Birmingham Midshires, one of HBOS's major brands, are certainly suggestive. There are no checks on what borrowers claim. We decided to call the number on the ad to see what we could get.
Thank you for calling Birmingham Midshires Direct Loans. Your call may be recorded or monitored for security and training purposes.
Hello, my name's Michael. Yes, I'm phoning for some mortgage advice. I told the call centre advisor that I earned £34,000. How much, I wondered, could I borrow?
Well, the maximum we'd be able to raise on 34 income at the moment is 110,500, 3.25 of your income.
So far so good. The advisor is sticking to the official income multiples. But does she know how I could borrow a lot more? I don't understand that, because the reason I'm calling you is I've got a friend who's got a mortgage with you, and he earns just about the same as me.
He's got a much bigger loan from you guys.
Okay, it may be that he's gone through a broker on a self-certified mortgage.
But do I need to go to a broker? I mean, if a broker can do it, why can't you do it? Can you do it directly with me?
No, because you've just told me that your income is 34,000 per annum.
But my salary is 34,000.
Yep. Understand that some people, even though they're earning 34, some people sip and say that they're earning 60, so we can do 3.25 of this 60.
Is that right?
I mean, yeah, especially when they go through a broker. On the telephone, we just turn around and say, no, you can only raise this amount. The telephone call recorded, you see.
So the people at Birmingham Midshires call centre certainly know the score. But what happens when conversations aren't recorded? We travelled to Birmingham to visit Birmingham Midshires High Street branches and meet HBOS's own mortgage advisors face to face. We thought it almost inconceivable that at the main city centre branch we'd be invited to lie about our £18,000 salary.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
We were wrong.
Thank you. So what do you put on the form as my income?
About 32. I'll fill out your form for you. Don't worry about that side of things.
Right.
That's me that does that, yeah?
That mortgage would be over 5.5 times our salary, vastly higher than the traditional multiples Gurjit's boss claims his company sticks to. In the Solihull branch, the advisor told us that to get the mortgage we wanted, we'd need to almost double our salary.
Oh, have you? Fine, no problem. So I'm being a bit naive. Basically, I write down or say I'm a
position for fraud found out. Advice, I think, very risky thing to do, almost double. But if that's still, I would apply for a fraud.
But that will also be for around 5.5 income. Here we were a mortgage of almost 6.5 are true.
So it's a very good deal, not bad.
But even that's nothing compared to what some borrowers have got.
Yeah.
Back at the city centre branch, we were told about one borrower getting around 10 times his income.
Yeah, I had this guy come in last week and he bought a £1,000 house because his income was about just the early 30s. It wasn't like, exceptionally good. He was having a mortgage of 340 and to borrow that I'd show him to have an income of about 104.
He wishes he did.
So all three of HBOS.
You know I'm the man who understands mortgage.
Mr. Crosby wasn't prepared to appear in this programme to answer those questions. Instead, HBOS gave us a statement. It announces that 3 of their Birmingham Midshire's mortgage consultants have been suspended following information received from this programme. The statement also says,
Birmingham Midshires has with immediate effect temporarily ceased offering self-certification mortgages through its branch network.
The company has launched a detailed investigation into the issue and has recalled all its advisors for intensive training on the proper use of self-certification. Other mortgage advisors we exposed in this programme are also being investigated by their companies. The companies we spoke to told us that this abuse of self-certification is against their policies and training procedures. Several of the advisors involved have already been suspended. Now this scandal's been uncovered, it's likely the flow of illicit cash from this board will be stopped. That could have a big impact on the housing market.
Stop and interest rate in the rows, then I think you could see a really downward.
This week, the President predicts there will be a long-term rise in interest. Ominous news who've lied to borrow huge multiples of their incomes. Repayments could rocket while the value falls. But at least some will benefit. People like Andy Ashford may finally be able to buy a loan without having to resort to crime to get it. Next program, Celebrities' Favourite Diet is sending shockwaves through the food industry. Even health concerns can't stop this £1 billion business. That's a fat profit.